Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ariel and I am an herbalist and acupuncturist, and I make a lot of videos about plants. So up until this point, I've done like a lot of videos on how to incorporate plant medicine into your life, but I haven't yet done a video on why it's so worth your time and effort and energy to incorporate herbalism into your life. A while back, when I started making YouTube videos in like 2020, I just wanted to get information out there. I want all this information that is our birthright to be totally accessible to everybody. Even though I cringe at my old videos because the audio was horrible and I was still learning, I've kept most of them up because I'll just redo them later, but the information is still good, right? Because I've invested so much into learning the art of herbalism, into learning how to identify plants, into formulating safe and delicious herbal formulas, formulating formulas, learning how to harvest my own food and medicine, the ethnobotany, learning how my ancestors, all of our ancestors, interface with the natural world. That is priceless information. And again, it is our birthright. We were born to just walk outside and be provided for, to heal our bodies and to find food, to make art and shelter and medicine. This should come so easy for us as humans. Humans are the most adaptable, most brilliant species, even though we're definitely fucking it up right now. Being fully integrated with nature and living a beautiful life is our birthright. When you think of your dream life, do you think of a beautiful house in a beautiful place? Whether that's an urban or suburban or completely off the grid environment. Maybe it's a beach full of palm trees. Maybe it's a castle in the mountains. Maybe it's a log cabin in the woods. We all have our dream location, and it does not play nicely always with the modern world. All of this beauty that we seek does come from plants and trees, and from fungi and bacteria, if we're being fair. What I mean to say is that our idealized life is living integrated and living a part of the natural world. When I studied and worked in environmental science, there was a lot of talk about biodiversity, about how the more players in a system, the more stable that system is. I did leave that field because I felt that modern science, as I was working and experiencing, it was like too reductive and basic, and it didn't fully honor the awe I felt when I was in wilderness environments or interacting with nature at all. That feeling of awe and beauty is what brought me to my deep and abiding faith in God. And we are called to be in this world but not of this world. And I believe that means we are called to create a world greater than where we are right now. Because where we are right now, it's alright, but it needs some work, don't you agree? So herbalism makes me think a lot about the world that we're creating. It makes me imagine cities full of beautiful gardens, of orchards on every street, and people eating edible fruit as they pass by without a second thought. And there are some places on Earth where this is still a reality. Those places also have their own problems, but it doesn't excuse the fact that here in America, we really need to be doing more to be creating edible food forests and cleaning up our toxic garbage dumps. Because I don't know about you, but I am tired of paying $5.99 for 6 apples just for the privilege of eating fruit that isn't sprayed with pesticides. I'm tired of walking through clouds of pollution that make my eyes sting and my tummy hurt. I'm speaking as someone who's grateful to be born into all of this relative abundance, but it's not ungrateful to ask for more. To ask for less abuse and cruelty of animals and plants and people. To ask for less small-mindedness. To opt out of being scammed. And yes, we are all definitely being scammed. We're especially being scammed when our arm is twisted into buying medication and pharmaceuticals from people that absolutely hate us. But this video is not about quitting your meds. Please don't quit your meds, especially if they're saving your life. We are learning to heal ourselves from the inside out, from our emotions, to our mentality, to our bodies. And so we use the tools that are available to us. And if that's meds, great, that's the tool we have. But we want more, so let's make more tools available to us, right? I'll get a little personal here. I've joked about my experience on the drug sertraline, Zoloft you might know it as. I took this drug because I had severe anxiety. And I know, everybody has anxiety, right? Well, this shit, sertraline, Zoloft, it did treat my anxiety. I could sleep at night, I didn't have constant heart palpitations. Like, it objectively worked. But it also gave me bruises all over my body. It deleted my emotional range and maybe my moral compass. I was just like a blank zombie person. So long term, not the best choice for me. But I've chosen not to guilt or shame myself for decisions that I was pushed into. As a person with more confidence and knowledge now, I would religiously take magnesium, tulsi, and ashwagandha. And those things have indeed helped me when I take them every day. And they have a similar, if not better, effect to the sertraline I was taking before. When I give myself the gift of taking these herbs every day, especially the ashwagandha, my symptoms are not there. They are treated. All it takes is consistency and knowing my body, without any side effects too. These substances that I'm taking, they don't affect me negatively, and my personality retains its sparkle. But again, I'm not here to get you off of your meds. That would be silly and irresponsible. I'm just telling how I fix my anxiety without medication. And yes, experimenting with herbal medicine is not without risk. Herbal compounds are usually milder than their isolated pharmaceutical counterparts, many of which came from plants, of course. But some herbs are very strong. Like, these potions are too strong for you, traveler. One of the biggest benefits of incorporating herbal medicine in your life is its synchronistic effect. The active ingredient of an herb usually has a really strong effect on your body, and it's usually the effect that you're taking it for, right? Like you're taking ginger for its anti-nausea properties. Perhaps you're looking for a blood thinning effect, like as in ginkgo, that helps your memory. On their own, all these chemicals have a strong effect on the body, and while treating the thing you need it for, it often has some unwanted other effects. But herbs also come with a plethora of other phytochemicals, and they often have this synergistic balancing effect. For example, let's compare a mint essential oil to just a cup of mint tea. If you drink water with the mint essential oil, you'll get that clarifying effect of the mint, but you'll also burn your throat and sinuses. But if you just take a simple cup of mint tea, it's probably growing in your yard, it's cheaper, and it won't burn your throat, and it'll still have that clarifying, uplifting effect of the mint. A common argument I see against herbal medicine is, why would I take a birch bark or a willow bark tea when I can just buy aspirin? If you don't know, aspirin is salicylic acid, salicin, synthesized, which originally came from willow bark. Why wouldn't I just take a nice, convenient, cutely packaged pill instead of some like primitive bark tea? For we modern humans are no longer grubbing in the dirt for our root medicine. We've all supposedly been saved by modern medicine, which definitely doesn't change its mind every 5 to 10 years. I may keep the aspirin on hand for emergencies if I don't have any access to birch or willow bark, but I'm always gonna want good old-fashioned bark tea. I love the vibe of making my little herbal infusions and tinctures and decoctions. It makes me happy, and that's good enough reason to do anything. I like feeling independent from systems of power that do not give a fuck about me. I like my little ritual of asking the tree or the plant in my imagination if I have permission to take its medicine. I like being a little forest fairy. I like being a little Delulu. It simply makes me happy, and it also cures my headaches. And I imagine you are here, dear watcher, because that sort of thing interests you too. I imagine you're interested in self-sufficiency and in caring for the earth, for we are the stewards of the earth. You're probably also interested in reasons that plant medicine could be superior to modern medicine, or at least complementary. In many cases, these plant medicines are simply easier on your body, literally less of a burden on your liver and kidneys. When used properly, I'm referring to with respect to old traditions and old ways of preparing things. For example, it's springtime and I like to collect bracken fern, and make like fiddlehead ferns. But if I ate fiddlehead ferns every day, I might get a little sick because of some, I think, kidney disrupting properties that this alkaloid has. But in Korea, they have been harvesting bracken fern and leaving it to dry in the sun, and that's how they prepare it. They knew somehow that neutralized the toxic alkaloid. Herbalism can also take into account your unique biochemical needs. You're gonna hear a lot of dishonest people make silly arguments based on scare tactic headlines. You know, maybe you'll go to a kava drinking ceremony at a nice tea shop and your friend will be like, oh, I heard kava can shut down your liver and kill you if you take it too much. And you're like, well, yeah, if you're a lab rat being injected with kava, that will definitely kill you. But if you're using it like traditional indigenous people did, occasionally in a ceremony, with the goal of bonding with your community, that's only going to be a net positive for your system. And I'm a little over abusing animals for the sake of lab research. These insane satanic rituals don't really have a bearing on how the human body processes things that we've been using for thousands of years. Probably more like tens of thousands or millions of years. But there are poisonous herbs, and we should be aware of them. And I love teaching my kids and other people about poisonous plants in our region. It's literally so fun for them because it's like a dose of danger in your daily walks. They get really excited when they see like an Amanita pantherina mushroom come up in our yard. They tell all their little friends that, oh, that's a bad mushroom, it can kill you, isn't it pretty? So if a 4-year-old can grasp this information, so can all of us grown adults. We need to start trusting people to make their own health decisions. And there will always be dumbasses trying to prove Darwin right. My content is not for them. My content is for you, the smart cookies and the free thinkers of all ages. But still, I err on the side of safety, always harping on you guys to do your own research and get positive IDs on things. Because it's so easy to just not make a mistake. There's so many references and there's so many resources available for you. We're in the glass age, the age of the internet. And whenever we're putting anything on our bodies, we should do it respectfully. Respectfully to the plant, respectfully to us. Literally, let's just treat ourselves with respect. And most importantly, start simple and small. Like, if I'm feeling in a funk, my first instinct should hopefully be to like make some lemon balm tea or chamomile, something easy and simple and safe that'll just mellow me out. I don't need to jump balls deep into an Amazonian ayahuasca ceremony. Nothing wrong with that. If you're called to it, you're called to it. But like, let's start simple and then build from there and then get into the more advanced stuff, right? In summary, herbalism and plant medicine is about sovereignty. Knowing that you can learn to care for yourself and the earth is your home. It's not a political or a social movement. It can include, but it doesn't require coursework or products or even knowing how to forage. Although I think that's cool. You get to decide how you want to interact with the natural world and what works for you. Herbalism doesn't even have to be an alternative to mainstream medicine. That's also completely up to you. It's about connection, feeling the energy of plants and trees and not caring how people might view your practices. Showing your community remedies that work for you, while understanding that we are all unique biochemical wonders, literal snowflakes, and passing down that knowledge through our family lines and our communities, whether or not that chain of knowledge was ever broken. Herbalism is about cultivating personal power, while realizing how dependent we are on our natural environment and one another. Studying plants and healing substances is studying the science of life itself, which is always a paradox. It's both so deep and not that deep at all. We can be in awe of the splendor of creation, all while making little potions to shine up our hair or, help with more serious things. So whether you're a houseplant addict, studying this for a career, or just idly curious about what's growing outside, all of you are welcome here. And I hope that my channel can give you the tools and the confidence to take matters into your own hands. Thank you all for listening to my ramble. I hope you found it useful. Feel free to share what you think, share about your experience incorporating plant medicine into your life. Feel free to talk about what you'd like to learn. And I will see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Bye!